What's up, Rockstars? Today I have Singularity with me, and I am excited to show this off. This is coming to GameFound very soon. There will be a link in the description below, but this card game, the art looks stellar. It kind of reminds me of Madara, so if you're into that sort of kind of thing, this might be a game for you. My understanding is there's like no luck involved as well. It's all like just your skill versus the other person. I'm excited, so let's go ahead and dive in. Alright, so let's get the knife and see where the plan of attack is when it comes to not damaging this early copy of the game. I'm always, I don't know, I love when games are well enough along in development that they even can make a box like look as finished as this. That's just always great. Now, one thing, I had some feedback at the beginning of their campaign about they have such great color, and yet they try and make it really stark with a lot of darkness, so it pops. But I tend to think they go too far into the darkness. So for instance, on the back here, I feel like that's too much black. As you can kind of see here, it's really, really dark. These do pop for sure. This less so because it's kind of dark on dark, right? But while that pops, this isn't even, I think, bright enough. They're just, if nothing else, the contrast needs to go up, or perhaps something else. But either way, it looks like completely professional. Like, I really dig this. I think this is awesome. Love the font of their Singularity, by the way. They have the .exe there, but I believe everybody just calls it Singularity. And obviously, a work in progress and representative of the final product. So let's open it up and see what this early look of it is like. Come on, the lid will come off. Okay, so inside, you know, honestly, this is a better box than, it's really smooth. A better box, good glue job on everything, than a lot of the board games we do get. So that's kind of nice. All right, we have the rule book here. And again, right there on top, that's nice. It has a little helper player aid on the back here. Again, very stark black and white. It kind of works. The font is a little small. My eyes can do fine, but I know some of you guys got some, we'll say, aging eyes, and that's not necessarily helpful to have it that small when that's the case. Okay, it looks like on the very back, we just have some fluff, some lore, which is fine, but ideally, we end up with a index, I think is what I'm hoping for here. Let's look at the front. Sometimes I put them in the front. The art, again, fantastic. Really love the art. Love the style. I think it looks great. So we got a table of contents. It's not an index, but you know what? It's 27 pages total, but looks like a lot of it's lore. By the time you're done playing or learning how to play, it's like 23 pages. Shouldn't be that hard to add an index, I don't think. So it looks like we have bullet points, we got bold, we got headers, we got like little signifiers of where on a card something is. I really dig that. Looks like we have some example starter decks and some call-out boxes here. Different colors in the text, at least showing off that. Not so much in explaining. It's mostly black and white, kind of stark, which again I think is totally fine. That's totally doable. But yeah, it's kind of weird because you have like this art, right, which looks awesome, and then it's right next to this black and white kind of thing. Again, work in progress, but I'll let you know what I think of the rule book after I read it, of course. But design-wise, that's kind of my feedback in there. Okay, so player aid on this as well. Is it the same player aid? They just putting that on the back of everything? Looks like it. Okay, this is a rules reference, so perhaps this is what you have on the table. Honestly, I tend not to look at these. I will have a question, and the question is typically, like, I've already read the rule book. I'm the kind of guy that reads it front to back. Like, I will read everything. I might not read the lore, but every single rule page I will read. And so when I have a question, typically it's some obscure specific thing, not something a reference or a glossary can answer. That's just me. I don't know. Well, let me know what you guys do. Do you guys find this kind of stuff helpful? I'd be curious. I'm sure a lot of devs would actually be curious. So go on and let them know in the comments and let me know, and then I can tell them if nothing else. Quick start guide, an extended example of play. So 3 different things with this. And honestly, the example is, this is like, what, 18 pages? And the rule book itself, all the rules is like 23, so that's kind of interesting. Definitely wants you to kind of ease into gameplay and learn it, which is I think totally fine. And if nothing else, more is better. Okay, we do got some tokens here. Obviously, work in progress on these. These are definitely prototype tokens. Oh, it looks like 2 fell out. Oh no, I lost 2. Where are they? Are they in there? They are. Look at that. Here's 1 at least. Here's 1. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at these tokens just to get a sense of things here. Again, prototype, obviously, right? But it looks like you have some funny shaped ones, which is kind of cool. So we'll take a look at some of those. A plain one, we got one of those, we got one of these. Just trying to get the different shapes. I think that's it. Looks like it's doubled up here. Okay, so we don't need to take any more of that. All right, and let's zoom in on this. All right. Okay, so again, I'm not really looking at quality right here because it's obviously a prototype, work in progress. I'm looking at the design of it, right? So I can tell you right now that this kind of white part in the center of this looks a little odd to me. I like that this is cut out, but it's like a circle and then a different curved circle right there on the edge. And to me, that just seems like an odd choice. At least in this prototype, it also seems to be a little off-center, but that might just be me. But if they're having trouble getting it centered now, often they'll have trouble getting it centered later as well. Though not always, not always. And again, like I think this is a little off-center too, right? But I think this is probably a little bit more forgiving on the printer thing. As opposed to that, I think this is going to get really hard to nail. Obviously, there's more space on this side. That being said, it looks like that might be a design thing. So you can see these little edges on the outside and see how small they are here and how large they are here. So I think that's adding a bigger buffer here. I don't know. I mean, it might be the goal they're wanting to do. I don't know. But my personal take is I see that number just off center and then only afterwards figure out, oh, that's why, because it was able to cut closer here. You could always just have more space on that side, though. The hard part with these little jutting things is invariably you're not going to get the token that size. So you're going to have some kind of background like texture or image or something like that. Makes it a little difficult. Okay, on this, so same kind of thing here. And again, this is obviously temporary, but at least for now, this is a circle. And yet the shape is very decidedly not a circle on there, right? And so again, you have these kind of straight lines in this, like, it's almost like watching it in like a widescreen movie on your TV. Because in the theater, it's a different aspect ratio than the TV. And so the TV's there for like, you know, sports and stuff like that and a different aspect ratio. So when you see a movie, you get those black bars. Kind of reminds me of that. And then it almost just looks like you only see the edge of this, but then you don't see the edge of the other side. So it almost looks like it's cut off. See, like this uses the shape, I think, quite well. I think that one works a lot better than this. And this one, I don't really have any comments on. Looks fine. The numbers are really easy to read. I do appreciate that on all of these. Like the symbols and stuff are quite easy. Even this minus here, I think is pretty good. It's perhaps less noticeable than the white plus, just because that's a pure white on pure black, and this is a black on a kind of gray, right? So there's a little bit less contrast. Plus, it seems I don't know. It almost seems like this plus part here, the up and down, is thicker than the sideways. Again, I know I'm getting nitpicky, but they're at the design phase, so this kind of stuff can be very helpful. And I am a little anal retentive about these things. So, moving on from that. Look at that, guys. We got cards. Imagine that card. So already, I mean, this is already technically a tray, right? That's we got places to hold tokens and stuff like that. That's nice. So we got quite a few cards here. Now, what all the differences are, I don't know, but I'm going to take them out of there so I forget how they ever went back in there. Looks like we have some decks here, right, that are like themed almost, or some kind of sections. Then we got 3 of these. So this is kind of the layout that I'm seeing right now. Again, I don't know about stretch goals or anything like that. Again, check out that link in the description. See if they have some more information. No, that's not a foil, is it? Does it just look like a foil? Hold on a sec. Okay. I'm going to wait because these obviously have art on them. And I think they all do. But I'm going to go ahead and open some of these to see what the comparison is here. So this like tells you a bit about them, which is kind of cool. I kind of dig that. Looks like these are like different characters, perhaps. And then I don't know what this background is. They're different, which is kind of interesting. Maybe they're counter chomp versus armor up. Defrag versus Ferocious Bite. So perhaps this is showing some of the cards in here. I don't know. I do like the organization. Like, I appreciate that. That's nice to see. And it'll be great if you can do that in the final production. I know sometimes, you know, you get those games where the cards are like a single copy each that they go through and then they go through again. So that's always kind of interesting. So, oh, okay. So we got quite a few here. Still none of these are like that one. So they're all still unique here. So on the front, you have actual just, looks like abilities here. Now, again, I don't know if this is how it's going to end up being. I'm going to zoom out slightly just so I can show multiple cards a little bit easier. I don't know if this is how it's going to look like or not. Right now, at least, it's just line art and then a little bit of color and then black and white. Again, a little plain here. It kind of matches what they have with the rule books and stuff like that. But it is, it's not my favorite design choice, I guess. It definitely works and the contrast is appreciative. You can actually read it very well. I do like that. Line art can be very good at symbology as well. You get kind of used to what something looks like. But it is a far cry from like this per se, though it looks like there's maybe symbol matches there. Maybe it's kind of like the mana symbols kind of stuff. I don't know yet. So anyway, that's those three. Then we have this one. This looks like it's just a player aid. I don't know if this is unique per player or not. I assume not. And then it looks like then you have your Singularity deck here. It looks like there's stack orders, whatever that is. And it looks like it has... no, it does not. So see here it says Hanamori Jukuma, and then here it doesn't say that at all. I was wondering if perhaps it matched with what it looks like. They're like themed like that. Like suggested inactive is the Jakuma here. So I'm not sure if that's matching or not. I don't know. So we will see. We will see. But as you can see, there is maybe one more thing like that. And then by the looks of it, we got some art. Now we still have that stark kind of solid line with a black border and all that. But now the white has this little bit of texture in it. That's certainly appreciative. It adds a little bit, though still very, very blocky and shapy. I love the art ones, though, don't have a border, right? They have a little bit on the bottom to like say stuff, but otherwise it's full art. Definitely like that. Get your art front and center. I really dig that. I like the fading this has. So it's kind of a design choice that I think, where are those tokens? Give me back those tokens. I want to say I saw something similar. Oh, I think it was on one I didn't get. Hold, please. Like this, right? So this looks like there's some kind of like gauge thing going on there. And I get that same sense from this. So in other words, I think those work well together. But this, it's solid here on the more solid, which again, this isn't quite pure black. But because it pixelates like this here, it also fades and blends into the art. That's a nice touch. I like that. Otherwise, this isn't taking up too much extra space than needed, which I like. A little minimal part there. And again, it's not at the very corner, so you get a little bit of art on the side there. That looks nice. And coloration stuff looks really good. And again, all black cards as well. It's an interesting choice. So we have Fox Totem and Dust of the Desert and Timber of Taiga. And then we have another character here. Dugu Squad. Putrid Blossoms. Catalyst. I will say what's interesting here is, and I think it might be some kind of like, you know, Netrunner style kind of like, you know, hacking digital thing. But notice all of these have that square that like everything's coming out of, even this rabbit here, right? I like the theme of that, but I doubt they're gonna change it because like you have stuff actually like pouring onto it and stuff like that. But it does make it seem a bit samey, right? It's always just kind of glow in the background with this thing that's always there, and then stuff happens to be on top of it, which is fine, but it's definitely less standoutish than I thought. Like this stands out more, I would say, than this kind of stuff. Maybe that's only like some like hacking stuff, whatever. It looks like this is an ally. Ooh, I like that. All right, so without the design stuff, we're going to go and move on from that. Let's look at some of the card makeup here. So it looks like, again, different matching symbols here as well. And it looks like perhaps we have keywords down here.
and then little blurbs. Mocha counts as a totem, and then it has a little bit of lore there. I really appreciate the lore blurbs. Adds a lot to the experience of getting cards, to the world building, and it's just more to read and interact with the card. The more you can actually do that versus, people will try to distill it down sometimes where it's like art, symbols, and that's it. But getting like this and reading that, I've now spent more time interested in this card than just raw what it does in the gameplay, which I actually like. The interesting thing here is there's a little bit of a design choice here where the Mocha counts as a totem is down here. Yeah, the information's on the top. Just a little kind of notice there. See, it's like in the numbers on the bottom versus the top here. I've always been debated on this. I like most, card games do something like this, right? Stuff on the bottom, stuff in the corner. However, I've always kind of been a fan of the idea, or conceptually at least, of having all the information in one place. In other words, like put this down here, and then this is literally all art. Then you don't need anything else up here but your beautiful art. And then I'm not looking here, and then looking here, and then looking here, perhaps, for information on different parts of the card. And then there's the vertical versus horizontal, but I'm getting really picky on this, and I don't need to be. There is symbology, right? So it looks like the EXE is kind of used here. Deal X plus 1, whatever that is. X is equal to the unique active totems. Very cool. During Neutralized, Duga Squad heals itself by 1, again, symbol, health point, perhaps. Okay, so that's neat to see that. And again, the art, just awesome. Very, very cool. I dig it. You do have some repeats here, not all super unique. And it looks like, that's a J. Kuma token pittance. And then there's a J. Kuma. Where's the J. Kuma? I thought we already saw it. Maybe that was it. Well, fine. Okay. Well, anyway, there's the purple guy there. He's got a little tiny leg. I like it. Okay, so that's that deck. We're going to open one other deck just to see the difference. Maybe we'll leaf through and look at the art and just kind of go from there. But obviously it'll be quicker. I'm going to go ahead and skip forward. I'm going to open all of these because I suck at opening things, and it can take me a while. All right, I'm back and I have everything done. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. So as you can see, the art is still fantastic. Really do dig that. It has a little bit more text there. I wonder if it's, I think either that guy had more lore, or what I suspect is that yes. So this will move up. This will come over here. We can see this will grow based off how much it needs to show. So theoretically, I guess they could go all the way up. They could do whatever they want. I suppose they can print a black card. But the point is that this is not a standardized thing. It will take as much space as it needs. No more, but also no less. Okay, so moving on from that. This is obviously different looking just already on that. But I do notice, again, all of these are circular, right? Circular, spherical, whatever. That's a cool one. I dig that. It's interesting that a lot of their art has surroundings, right? It's not just the character up close. In fact, none of them have been really that. There's been a few, I guess. This one has the surrounding. In the last one, there was a few that were like that. But again, mostly circles, I am noticing, and again, characters right there. All the rest is surrounding setting. That's a very cool thing. I like that. I wish almost more cards did that. It can really add to the lore. Okay, here's finally. I was going to say there's not a lot of these here, but there's some there of the cubes or the squares. So again, character, but then a lot of surrounding. That guy's freaking sweet. I dig that guy. Instamesh, everybody's favorite mesh. Folded Steel Strike. Blitztron. Oh, I like his roller skates. That's awesome. I dig that. So maybe a little bit more variety there. Even that's circular. Very interesting that they have such common things. I think when it comes to card games, having cohesive vision in your art is good, but I think sameness, not necessarily. I like the idea of it because I like the organization of it. And like then you can recognize a card real quick, but at the same time, it is nice, I think, sometimes to have just more variety. The characters are very varied. And look at that freaking goldfish in the back. It's freaking sweet. Look at all those symbols. My goodness. Dear Lord. This is kind of interesting when you looking at this more and more, like half of this card at least is now like text, and then there's a little bit in there of art. It's kind of interesting to see how much that can take up. I do appreciate the size of the font, though. It's not super tiny. Like the lore is, but at that point, you're picking it up to read that lore, right? And I think that's okay, too. That one's a little bit more character-focused, but still a lot of setting in there. I'm seeing a lot of rock in here, right? That's cool. I dig that. That's super awesome. Again, the coloration on this, even for a prototype, really good. That's really hard to do sometimes. Often it'll print kind of dark. And some of these do look a little dark, perhaps. You know, just brightening this a little bit might help. But I can still see what that is pretty well. I think that one's okay. Just something to note. All right. Yep. I mean, again, these characters, I don't even know how all of this really aligns, except all of it seems slightly Asian. but that's about it. All right, we got one more here. Obviously quite different here on all of them. Okay, yep, there's the wolf. That's probably the one I'll play. You guys know me. This looks like the Sphere Grid from Final Fantasy X or something like that. Or I'd say Passive Exile, but it needs about 3,000 more of these. Again, these are just so like... So there's like a flight attendant and a robot wolf and whoever this person is. I wonder if... this is Joy. I like that. I wonder if this is almost like a corporate thing. And yeah, but then I see her and I'm like, okay, she just seems goofy. I like her lab coat, though. That's cool. Just very sciencey is what this one is. Yeah, cryptographic hex, domination protocol, system analysis. Yeah, definitely. That's why they all have glasses. They're just nerds. They must be good at math. Backhand, general. Very cool. Okay, so that's those. Now we do have these three here. And each one of these on the back, well, okay, and this one doesn't. So I don't know exactly what all this is. These two, like that. This one on the back, though, has this. Like there's some extra ones. I don't know what this is. Oh, commons. Okay, many programs have been ubiquitous due to their universal use, accessibility, and simplicity. Unlike most programs, common programs are compatible with every faction's soul code. Oh, it's like their Spark. So these can just be used by anybody. Okay, so now I just talked about this, didn't I? And they've thought of this. So if this requires enough text where it's taking up too much, they will put the image over top of it. Very interesting. Very interesting. Certainly makes them pop. I just kind of dig that. Almost more than these like surrounded by blackness stuff going on here. Oh, look, and there's like a zoomed out version of them, so there's several. Oh, dropping stuff. Some of these, again, are just so... see, they're all coming out of these little spheres here. That's kind of cool. I dig that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You guys tell me what that says. Echoing him. There's a Izanami install. Yin and Yang. So, a lot of Japanese influence here. More than just Asian. Necro Exurient, Focus Soul, Bamboo Splitter, Needle Sinbon. Flesh for security. I don't like that. There's another one going over. Oni shift. There's that armor up. Mechanize. Magnetic core. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. The character art definitely the highlight for me. I mean, by far. Though I like some of these designs too. They kind of remind me of like plasmids and stuff like that. All these like magic things in games. They'll have cool symbols. Oh, a whole bunch of characters. Okay, sweet. Okay, I'm excited. Hold on, wait. Okay, we'll do characters last. I actually like this. So, oh, look at that's interesting. So these are just these like different abilities, but they're all like silhouette people doing different things. That's cool. Now we're back to like the more circle stuff. I dig that. Looks like a subwoofer of some kind. Ugh. Second encore, but not as opposed to the first encore. Amplitude. I love this one. I like that. I want that as like a profile image on like PlayStation. That'd be really good. Stargate. Rotation 13. Oh, always with the 13, huh? What's that gonna do? Feedback matrix. Oh, and it's in and out plugged into each other. I like that. A lot of these are pretty smart. I dig it. Barbed wire, razor wire. Oh, even worse. Even worse. A counter chomp. There's that. Okay. That looks like a trash can lid. All right, let's look at some of these. So it looks like we got... Oh, I got some of these days memory in process. So these, it almost looks like some of these. No, they don't have the thing on it. It look like this matches one of the art styles that one of them had with that sphere of numbers. but I guess anybody can have these. Trim the line. I like that. Wall hacks. Winds of Purity and Beaches of the Moon. Oh, I love moon beaches. Okay, and now we have more characters. I'm excited. Okay, again, so colorful. Really impressed with the color on all these. I mean, just fun. Look at the freaking purple matrix code coming out of that guy. I dig it. I dig it. And so again, it's not just this guy. It's also the fact that he's sitting with a bunch of scrolls and that the smoke turns into like a dragon-like thing. And all that I think is super important. Some of these can be a little dark though, my opinion. But otherwise, again, like what was she like? A trench coat potion lady? That's a cool one. I like that. Restrained. Rekka may not activate more than one program each turn. Interesting, but he's at 14. My goodness, some of these guys. Okay, so a wide variety of people, and it looks like play styles and stuff. I did that's like a Five Nights at Freddy's stuff. My son would love that. Robot Frogs, Roxy the Mallet, Twisted Six, White Noise. Oh, I like him. He's like an Elvis kind of guy. Cosma. Oh, I like that one too. That's cool with the hands like that. Very cool. So as you can see, quite a bit there. All right, guys, that's it. That's everything they sent me. At least I'm going to go and get started on the rule book stuff. I'm going to get started playing this game. I'll let you know how it plays in a review coming up, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't already so you get notified when that goes live. And, of course, you'll get notified when the game goes live if you follow the link in the description below. Click follow there. Or, again, watch the channel. I'll let you know as well. So stay tuned for more and have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye, guys.